The following training is sponsored by the Niagara Library System. We serve our member libraries in Niagara, Orleans, and Genesee counties. Please visit your local library homepage and use your library card to get access to streaming videos, downloadable music, audiobooks, ebooks, and even more from the comfort of your own home. Thank you. Hello, here we are again. Now, I know I'm banging on about viruses and things like that, but I'm going to highlight this right now. It's right in the middle of the page. This documentary, I thought it was great on the Stuxnet virus. It was from 2010, or it was discovered then. Absolutely fantastic job of, I think, creating an interesting environment on what happened when people got hacked and why Stuxnet was so important. And of course, shameless plug for your local libraries. Here in Niagara, we do have not one, but it looks like 2 copies of it. So I'm going to leave the link in the description. Please feel free to click it. Put in your library card number, you can request it. All right. So there were 2 articles. This is not on Stuxnet, but completely different. More recently, it was discovered that there was a hack that targeted U.S. agencies. So Matt O'Brien, and Frank Bajak did an article. The Associated Press released an article, and then Ben Fox and Alan Suderman followed up on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those 2 articles together. Let's talk briefly about it and see why this is important. Again, it has to do with water, electrical infrastructure, the grid, everything. Okay, so all right, so let's get started. Matt O'Brien and Frank Bajak explain what happened in the year 2020. So this actually started back in March. So a hack began as early as March when malicious code was snuck into updates to popular software that monitors computer networks of businesses and governments. The malware affecting a product made by the U.S. company SolarWinds gave elite hackers remote access into an organization's network so they could steal information. It wasn't discovered until FireEye, a cybersecurity company, determined that it had been hacked. So FireEye itself, who had been hacked. Whoever broke into FireEye was seeking data on its government clients, the company said, and made off with hacking tools it uses to probe its customers' defenses. So they essentially got in and they stole the defensive playbook from FireEye. Yeah. There's no evidence that this was meant to be destructive, said Ben Buchanan, Georgetown University cyber espionage expert and author of The Hacker in the State. He called the campaign's scope impressive, surprising, and alarming. Now, if you have a cyber espionage person saying that a scope is impressive, that's bad. But its apparent months-long timeline gave the hackers ample time to extract information from a lot of different targets. SolarWinds of Austin, Texas provides network monitoring and other technical services to hundreds of thousands of organizations around the world. The product that was compromised, called Orion, is software that provides centralized monitoring and looks for problems in an organization's computer networks, which means that breaking in gave the attackers a God view of those networks. And that's what it's actually called. It means they literally like an omnipresent, omnipotent view of that computer network, as if you are the root administrator and you know all about the network or can find it. That's what it's called, is the God view. That's what they call it in cybersecurity and in the computer world. Yikes. FireEye described the malware's dizzying capabilities, from initially lying dormant up to 2 weeks to hiding in plain sight by masquerading its reconnaissance forays as Orion activity. I'm telling you, the DVD on Stuxnet, they go into great detail about this, and it's an amazing documentary, I think. SolarWinds said it was advised that an outside nation state infiltrated its systems with malware. Neither the U.S. government nor the affected companies have publicly said which nation state they think is responsible. Nobody's saying anything. Keep it all hush-hush. What's going on now, though, that it's been found? Ben Fox and Alan Suderman then write, U.S. officials are scrambling to reinforce the nation's cyber defenses and recognizing that an agency created 2 years ago to protect America's network and infrastructure infrastructure actually lacks money, tools, and authority to counter such sophisticated threats. So the breach, which hijacked that widely used software from SolarWinds, has exposed the profound vulnerability of civilian government networks and the limitations of efforts to actually detect threats. It's also likely to unleash a wave of spending on technology modernization and cybersecurity. This is probably from both the public and private networks. It's really highlighted the investments we need to make in cybersecurity to have the visibility to block these attacks in the future. And Neuberger, the newly appointed Deputy National Security Advisor for Cyber and Emergency Technology, said on Wednesday at a White House briefing. The hack, as described above in that Matt O'Brien and Frank Bajak article, allowed unfettered access to data and email of at least 9 U.S. government agencies and about 100 private companies, with the full extent of the compromise still unknown. Now, while this incident appeared right now to be aimed only at stealing information, it highlighted fears, or heightened fears, and highlighted fears that a future attack could damage critical infrastructure like electrical grids or water systems. And again, this actually is because, and I did this, and I will try and link the Florida water and cybersecurity video here. I go into why that's important. President Joe Biden plans to release an executive order soon that Ann Neuberger said will also include about 8 measures intended to address security gaps exposed by the hack. The administration has also proposed expanding by 30% the budget of the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, or CISA, a little-known entity that's now under intense scrutiny. Both Republicans and Democrats in Congress have called for expanding the size and the role of the agency, and it's a component of the Department of Homeland Security. It was created back in November 2018 amid a sense that U.S. adversaries were increasingly targeting civilian governments and corporate networks, as well as critical infrastructure, such as the energy grid, that is increasingly vulnerable in a wired world. I tried to keep this short, so I'm going to link the other things below, and please make sure, go check out Stuxnet, or 0 Days, I believe is the name of the movie, 0 Days. It's about the Stuxnet computer virus back in 2010. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye now.